First off, I want to disclose the fact that Banggood provided this keyboard for my honest review. They did see the video before it went live to make sure the links below are correct, but they had no say in the creation of this video, and I was not compensated in any way. What the K61 boils down to is that it's the K87, but in a 60% layout. It's not really comparable to the K66 because the 61 has a lot of the upgrades that the K87 has over the K66. Let's dive into it. Like its larger counterparts, the K61 comes in a unassuming brown box. In the box, you'll find the keyboard itself, along with a USB Type-C to USB-A cable that's 1.8 meters in length. I didn't get a user manual, but you can find the information you need on Banggood's product page. You don't get a switch or keycap puller with this keyboard, which is something you might want to consider since it's a hot swappable board. I'm using this 2-in-1 that you can find in the video description below. As you might guess, the K61 is a low profile design, built with 3 layers of acrylic, with the top layer also acting as a plate. The keyboard weighs around 502 grams, so it's pretty light. There are 4 rubber feet on the bottom, with larger rubber feet on the top to create a slight typing angle. The rubber feet do compress, so if you're typing or gaming really hard, the keyboard will tilt down a bit, and it will also make a squeaking noise when pressing down on the top 2 rows with a decent amount of force. The acrylic layers are held together by screws that screw in from the bottom, so that you don't see the screw heads when looking down on the keyboard. While you can see the threads while looking at the sides, it's less noticeable on top. The acrylic layers aren't cut perfectly. There are edges where one layer sticks out more than another. The cutout for the USB-C connection is quite sizable, and the K61 uses plate-mounted stabilizers, which seems to be slightly lubed from the factory. The PCB has hot swappable sockets and just kinda sits there on the bottom acrylic piece. Underneath the keyboard, we have 40 RGB LEDs, just a ridiculous amount that can make your keyboard shine brightly on your desk. There are also north-facing RGB LEDs beneath each key, fulfilling all of your RGB desires. To change the underglow RGB, also referred to as the side light, hold down function and left control. Function and right control will cycle through different RGB modes on the backlit keys. Lastly, you can use function and space to select different color themes. The included keycaps are kinda thin, measuring around 1 mm. The material is ABS, so the keycaps will start to shine over time with use, but the shine is less noticeable on white keycaps. The legends are made through the doubleshot method, so they shouldn't wear out over time, and are printed towards the top right of the keycap to allow the most shine through of the RGB LED under it. I really like how the legends don't have much of a gamer aesthetic to it. It's just a basic font with a mix of icons and text mods. Lastly, the profile of the keycap sits somewhere between Cherry and OEM, but more towards OEM. The K61 comes with gateron switches, with my particular unit coming with gateron blacks. However, since the keyboard is hot swappable, you can easily change out the switch with whatever you want. Switches go onto this board north facing, meaning that the LED is on top and the switch pins are at the bottom. This may cause problems for you if you're looking to use aftermarket cherry profile keycaps. With cherry profile keycaps such as GamaKay or finicky sets, keycaps won't bottom out properly, causing the keycaps to hit the switch as you type. This results in an unpleasant typing sound. However, if you're buying this board, you're probably not buying cherry profile sets. You're more likely to buy shine through or put in keycaps to take full advantage of the backlit keys. And those sets usually come in OEM profiles, and OEM keycaps shouldn't have problems with north-facing switches. There's no software for this keyboard, so you can't reprogram the keys or anything like that. You'll have to refer to the user manual for the keys and features in the function layer. I did not measure any sort of significant delay with this keyboard, so it functions just fine for gaming, but this is to be expected since it's a wired keyboard. Here's what it sounds like stock. Next, let's do some basic modding to the stabilizers and switches. I will be clipping and lubing the stabilizers, and with the switches, I will be spring swapping and lubing the springs with Victorinox oil, and lubing the switches themselves with G-lube by Glorious. I do prefer Krytox, but I have a bunch of this g-lube that I need to use. Overall, this is a great entry-level keyboard with a ton of value. You can get all of the RGB one could really need, stock gateron switches, and decent shine-through keycaps. My favorite part of this keyboard is the pathway to customizability. The hot swap sockets allow folks to either try out a new switch or mod their current ones, and the standard 60% layout allows people to buy basically any aftermarket keycap set, with a caveat with the chair profile sets and north-facing switches. There are more choices now to take full advantage of the backlit keys, such as the Drop Skylight series, or you can stick with good old pudding keycaps. The build quality is the biggest downside with this keyboard, with the keyboard tilting down and squeaking with enough force, but I can't complain too much at this price point, and it shouldn't be too noticeable with normal use. Banggood is providing a coupon code for this keyboard, so check out the links below. That's it for me today. Please like the video if you found it interesting, and subscribe to stay updated on my future content. Until next time.